If there's anything that I love about Kingdom Hearts, it's the weapons, the Keyblades to be exact. I mean, really think about it. Everyday objects that we use to lock and unlock doors are weapons within this fantastic series. Why the developers decided to turn everyday household objects into weapons within this series is beyond me, but I'm glad they did. And there are so many Keyblades within this series that I absolutely love, such as the Kingdom Key, Master Defender, Rainfell, Guardian Soul, Void Gear, No Name, etc. But with the things that we love in life, there are things that we dislike, and boy are there some Keyblades within this series that I personally cannot stand. And with that said, I'm going to tell y'all my top 10 least favorite Keyblades. Now I dislike these Keyblades whether it be because of their design, or I may just have some sort of irrational beef with them. Now let's get into the honorable, or should I say dishonorable mentions. Grand Chef, Photon Debugger, Wishing Star, Follow the Wind, Nano Gear, Treasure Trove, and Monochrome. Now with that said, let's get into the number 10 spot. At the number 10 spot, we got the Keyblade of Heart from the first Kingdom Hearts game. Now I hate to put a Keyblade from the first Kingdom Hearts game on this list because of the first game, so naturally some of the Keyblades aren't going to be that good. But that doesn't excuse the fact that some of these Keyblades are just fucking garbage. Case in point with the Keyblade of Heart. The design just looks way too simple and basic, like it doesn't stand out at all. Like this thing looks like a skewer. Now don't get me wrong, I love the color scheme, but in terms of design, there's not really much going on with it. Now this Keyblade is wielded by Riku in the first Kingdom Hearts game after he's been taken over by the darkness. Now you wouldn't think a Keyblade or a weapon of someone who was taken over by darkness would look something like this. And I might be a little biased because I hate Riku in the first Kingdom Hearts game. But I'm not gonna lie, they did Riku justice with his later two Keyblades, Soul Eater and A Way to the Dawn. Like this Keyblade looks like a demonic toothpick or something. Its design is just plain, it's basic, and it sucks. And with that said, we're gonna go into the number 9 spot. Taking the number 9 spot is the Ever After Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts 3. Now me personally, I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 gets way too much hate. I feel like I've been way too harsh on this game over the years. But the one critique I will always have for this game is that the Keyblades, at least some of them, are just awful. Like how they dropped the ball with the Keyblades in this game. Now in terms of design, this is not the worst Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 3. I honestly feel like this Keyblade has way too many design elements going on. I feel like it's just overly designed. Now I'm going to be honest with y'all, this Keyblade does do a good job of having nods and references to Tangled. One problem I have with this Keyblade is the teeth of the Keyblade. I feel like the sun just looks a little weird and just doesn't sit right. And not to mention, I'm not a fan of the color choices for this Keyblade. I feel like the colors don't really mesh well together. But I will say, the spiral along the blade is a nice nod because, you know, it's Rapunzel's hair, her hair is long. If you haven't seen Tangled, then you definitely should. It's pretty good, pretty funny. Am I nitpicking? Maybe. But is nitpicking really a bad thing when you're talking about something that you don't like? With that out of the way, on to the number 8 spot. Another Kingdom Hearts 3 Keyblade. What a surprise. Seriously, why are these Keyblades so bad in this game? Now, when it was first revealed that they were going to have a Toy Story world in Kingdom Hearts 3, best believe I was mad hype. For those who don't know, the Toy Story franchise is my favorite Disney franchise of all time, with Toy Story 2 being one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. And I'm not gonna lie, the Toy Box, which is the name of the Toy Story world in this game, is my favorite world in Kingdom Hearts 3. So naturally, I thought the Keyblade for this world was gonna be amazing, but come to find out, this Keyblade is not that good. It's not a good Keyblade design. I'm sorry, y'all. Now, I feel like the reason why I don't like this Keyblade is because I was happy that there was a Toy Story world in this game, and I expected the Keyblade design to be a lot better than this. Now, don't get me wrong. I love how the Keyblade has elements that are references to Buzz and Woody from Toy Story. And I also really like how the keychain is the LGM from Toy Story. Like the handle is based on Buzz's spaceship, while the blade is a reference to Woody. You can see the cowboy hat, the sheriff badge, etc.
In my mouth is on TV!
This is disgusting!
Now you may have noticed I'm still giving compliments to these Keyblades. Yes, I'm talking about why I don't like them, but that doesn't mean I won't give credit where credit is due. So yeah, a bad haphazard design is what lands the favorite deputy at the number 8 spot. Taking the number 7 spot is the Wayward Wind Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Now when it comes to the Birth by Sleep trio, Ventus's Keyblade, the Wayward Wind, is definitely my least favorite. I don't like the teeth, I don't like the shape, and all around the Keyblade design just looks so uninspired and bland. Like, the color scheme just looks so dull. Like, I honestly feel like this is an incomplete Keyblade. I honestly feel like there could have been some more design elements added to it. The colors just feel so desaturated, and this Keyblade just doesn't feel like it has any life to it. I will say this Keyblade does feel like a reflection of Ventus. I said earlier that this Keyblade's design just feels so unfinished, it just doesn't look all that appealing. And I say it reflects Ventus because Ventus is the youngest of the Birth by Sleep trio, thus meaning he's very naive and inexperienced, which reflects on how the Keyblade's design just looks incomplete. Now, I could be wrong, I don't know if the developers made this intentional or not. If this comes off as me disliking Ventus, that is not the case at all. I actually really like Ventus, I just don't like his Keyblade. This is just my analysis of the Keyblade, and with that said, we're going to move on to the next Keyblade. Up next, we got the One-Winged Angel Keyblade from the first Kingdom Hearts game. Now, the way you get this Keyblade is by beating the Platinum match at Olympus Coliseum in Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, this Keyblade is an obvious nod to Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, seeing as you can fight Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1. And you would think, after beating one of the most iconic, well-loved, and well-known video game bosses of all time, you'd get a better looking Keyblade than this. I mean, yeah, I like how the blade looks like Sephiroth's sword, the Masamune, and the teeth looks like it spelled meteor, but this Keyblade just looks so bland and generic. And not to mention, Sephiroth is one of the hardest bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1, so you'd think the reward would be so much better. Like, seriously, imagine busting your ass to beat Sephiroth just to get this shitty Keyblade. This doesn't seem like a Keyblade that would be worth it for beating such a difficult and annoying boss. Look at his description. Has little power but sometimes deals extremely powerful critical blows. Reduces max MP by 2. A weapon that's supposed to represent Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII has little power and reduces your magic. Am I the only one who thinks this makes no sense at all? I honestly feel like this Keyblade should be a lot more powerful considering your hard work for beating Sephiroth. But hey, that's just me. Anyways, on to the next Keyblade. And we got another Kingdom Hearts 3 Keyblade. What a surprise. The problem I have with this Keyblade is that it looks way too silly and goofy. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind when a weapon in a video game looks silly and goofy, but there's such a thing as too goofy. Like, I cannot take this weapon seriously at all. The teeth is just a horn, the shaft of the blade it looks like an accordion, like this weapon looks like it'll break easily in battle. Like, when you imagine a Keyblade, something used for sealing a world's keyhole fighting against the darkness, is this a weapon you would imagine? Because it's not something I'd imagine. I don't like the color scheme at all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, this Keyblade looks like a DIY Keyblade. This Keyblade looks like something they use on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And it just has way too much going on in terms of design. The problem I have with these Keyblades in Kingdom Hearts 3 is that not only are they ugly, they're just over-designed and just do too much. The only good thing about this Keyblade I could say is that it focuses on magic, and yeah. Now time to move on to the number 4 spot. So at the number 4 spot, we got the Crab Claw Keyblade from the first Kingdom Hearts game. Remember how I said some of these Keyblades I may have an irrational beef with? Yeah, this is one of those Keyblades that I have an irrational beef with. The only thing I have to say about the design and why I don't like it is because it looks like a Fisher-Price Keyblade. You want to know why I have an irrational beef with this Keyblade? It's because of how you get it. And how do you get it? You have to beat Atlantica, which is considered to be one of, if not the worst world in Kingdom Hearts 1. You want to know why people don't like Atlantica? Because the entire level takes place underwater. Sora's not on foot like he normally is in the other worlds. And the swimming controls, yo, don't even get me started on them. And not to mention, it's really hard to know where to go because everywhere looks nearly the same. And the combat just feels mad awkward. Don't even get me started on the Ursula fight, specifically the second phase of the fight. If you watch my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 1 on Proud Mode, y'all know how annoying that Ursula fight was. I died so many times. So yeah, that's the reason why I have Crab Claw on this list. Is it a stupid reason I have this Keyblade on here because of how you obtain it? Maybe. But do I care? I don't. It's my list. I could do what I want. Now with that said, let's go on to the number 3 spot. I have been waiting to talk about the Braveheart Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts 3. This thing just looks like a regular car key, like it doesn't stand out at all. Like, when I think of a mythical weapon that's used for fighting darkness, this is not something I'd have in mind. The reason why I and many others don't like this Keyblade is because it looks like a regular, everyday car key that we'd see in real life. I mean, yeah, I get it. The developers wanted Riku to move away from having these dark, villainous Keyblades, but they could have did much better than what we got in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I get it. Riku doesn't have these dark Keyblades anymore because he's not one with the darkness. He got over the darkness, essentially. Another thing I don't like about this Keyblade is the color scheme. Like, really? They chose all gray for this Keyblade? Like, at least throw some blue in there or something. I'm sorry, Square Enix fumbled with Riku's Keyblade, like they really did him so dirty. The previous two Keyblades that Riku had, Soul Eater and Way to the Dawn, were at least symbolic of his character. This Keyblade doesn't really symbolize much. I don't like the shape, the color scheme, and I really can't stand how it doesn't stand out. Like, you got so many notable Keyblades that just really stand and stick out like a sore thumb, but this doesn't do it for me.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Disappointing, underwhelming, and uninspired design is what lands Braveheart at the number 3 spot. And with that said, let's go on to number 2. Y'all know the Chocobos, those lovable birds from Final Fantasy that have been a mainstay since the second game? Would you believe me if I said there's a Keyblade named after them in Kingdom Hearts 1? Would you also believe me if I said that said Keyblade is a pile of flaming, hot garbage? I love the idea of representing a common creature found in Final Fantasy, but they just executed it so poorly. I mean, look at this thing. When you imagine a weapon named after Chocobos, is this what you have in mind? The only Chocobo element on this Keyblade is the actual keychain itself, which makes little sense to me. You would think that a weapon that represents the Chocobo birds would have feathers or have a yellow color scheme, you know, to match the actual Chocobos. But no, instead it has this ugly color scheme while the blade is shaped like a puzzle piece. I mean, seriously, you named this Keyblade after the Chocobos, and the only Chocobo element you have is the keychain? How did Square Enix fumble this so badly? A Keyblade like the Gullwing would be a better representation of the Chocobo. Before anybody says anything, I know that the Gullwing Keyblade is based on Riku, Pain, and Yuna in Final Fantasy X too. Imagine telling a Final Fantasy fan that in Kingdom Hearts there's a weapon that represents a Chocobo, and this is the weapon that represents said Chocobo. They'd look at you like you're crazy and wouldn't believe you. Let me put this into perspective. Imagine me making a Keyblade based on Edward Elric from Fullmetal Alchemist. Now you'd think it'd have gold, red, black, and white to represent Ed's color scheme, also a flammel, and also an alchemical circle to also represent Edward. But no, it's blue and pink, the blade looks like a brick house, the teeth look like a moose, and the only thing that represents Edward is a flammel keychain.
Hey!
Yeah?
What the hell is this?
Oh, you didn't really give any specific guidelines about mating.
Did you name it?
What?
Did you name it?
Yeah, he's Paul.
Yeah? Well, it's gonna be a hell of a lot harder for you now because he's going the overboard.
So yeah, bad representation of a well-loved, well-known recurring creature within the Final Fantasy series is what lands the Metal Chocobo at the number 2 spot. If you're a fan of the Kingdom Hearts series, then you probably saw this Keyblade at the number 1 spot coming from a mile away. Now, before I talk about why this Keyblade is a piece of shit, I want to talk about the name of the Keyblade. That X in the name is actually the Greek letter Chi, or Key. I've seen it pronounced different ways, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to pronounce it as Key. Anyways, let's talk about the design of the Keyblade. Now, how would I describe this Keyblade? I'm going to let Joe Budden answer that for y'all.
That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
In terms of the lore, this is supposed to be one of, if not the most powerful Keyblade. But it looks like this? This shit looks like an AI generated Keyblade. Like it's just 2 Kingdom Keys slapped together with the blade coming out. This design looks mad lazy and uninspired. You would think the most powerful Keyblade would look mad powerful, but it looks mad stupid. Xehanort's whole purpose throughout Kingdom Hearts is to get the Keyblade to control Kingdom Hearts. And this is what he's fiending for? Like, you took one of the most well-known, if not the most iconic Keyblade, duplicated it, and just had a bunch of nonsense stick out of it? Like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, yo, you dead ass right now? Do you see this on screen right here? This design for the Keyblade is much better than this piece of shit that we got. I'm sorry, for a Keyblade that's supposed to control Kingdom Hearts and all that, this Keyblade looks like pure shit, bro. And I'm pretty sure most, if not all of the Kingdom Hearts fan base would agree with me. I know I said the Metal Chocobo Keyblade had an uninspired and uninteresting and disappointing design, but this... where did they go wrong? You got so many amazing Keyblades throughout the series, but yet you choose to make the most powerful Keyblade look like a pile of vomit? And what are those spikes on the side of it? What are those for? And not to mention, this thing looks mad uncomfortable to hold and use in battle.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
So that's it. Those are my top 10 Keyblades that I think are pure fucking garbage. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I was looking for Keyblades for this video, I didn't find nearly as many Keyblades as I thought I would. I tried to find Keyblades from Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance that I didn't like, but when I was looking at the Keyblades, I ended up liking all of them. None of the Keyblades in that game are bad at all, at least in terms of their design. I guess I could say that I like most of the Keyblades throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, but that doesn't change the fact that there are some that are just pure garbage. So that's going to be the end of this video, my top 10 Keyblades that I do not like. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow my socials that are in the description as well. I'm going to be out this, y'all take care, have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time. And make sure to let me know what Keyblades you don't like.